This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we're talking new trailers for Wonder Woman 1984, Free Guy, Ghostbusters Afterlife, and Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. Kevin Feige's comments from Brazil Comic-Con, and Keanu versus Keanu at the box office. Plus, a full spoiler review of the first 3 parts of the Crisis on Infinite Earths CW crossover, and a whole bunch more, all in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Thursday, December 12th, 2019.
Now listen here, bitches. You say you're looking for a podcast about comic books and TV and movies, but you don't know where to go? Well, stop whining and tune into the Jock and Nerd podcast. These are the only guys you'll ever need. They're jockey, they're nerdy, and they're bitches, like you. So keep it on the Jock and Nerd podcast. You can run, but you can't hide, bitch.
Check. Check 1. All right. This is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up!
Hey, this is Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman. Welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast with your hosts, Anthony.
I'm cooking a pot roast in my pants.
Imran.
What the shit is this?
And Rug Boy.
Put a bullet in me, Imran.
Comic book and superhero, TV and movie news, reviews.
It's really bad. It's actually pretty bad.
It's so fucking bad. It's dog shit on a hot day.
I love this movie so much.
Come on, Imran.
I think he'll surprise us.
Yeah.
And whatever they choose.
Let him see your small dick. We all know it's not big.
Fuck off.
The Jock and Nerd podcast. Remember, Batman's got your back.
Oh yeah, what's up? Hello, listener. Thank you for joining us this week, and welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast. And that's where I hit this button.
Yeah.
Jock and Nerd.
Yeah,
Sorry, my finger slipped. I got to give you the boing. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
And joining us, Paragon from Earth 6969. He's made of positive and negative matter cotton, mostly negative matter. Of course, it's the anti-Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs?
We just heard the voice of Kevin Conroy,
Yes.
which is the animated TV's Batman,
Yes, we did.
which I had the pleasure, I don't know if it was the pleasure, but I saw him on TV during this crisis thing.
Well, and when we review it, we will find out if that translates. If just
Well-
being the voice translates to being the Batman.
I have one comment to make on it,
Okay.
is that if you put a picture of Kevin Conroy
Yeah.
and you put my picture up,
Yes.
we look a lot alike.
Yeah.
I think he's my dad.
Oh, my God.
shit.
Is that your long-lost Pappy, Rugs?
I think so. I'm like, wow, he looks like he could be not a human being and made of felt.
Anthony,
Yes.
who is Rug Boy's real father? Do you know?
That's the next episode of Maury.
Oh, that is. We'll have to wait till
We should do a paternity.
We'll have to wait till the paternity suit comes back. We'll find out your true parentage, Rugs. You know, they don't have an Ancestry.com for brown people or puppets. It's some bullshit. It really
Whoa.
is. I'm telling you.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I can't. I put my name in Ancestry.com. It says you're at the wrong website. And then it
Whoa.
just, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I guess you got to be white. Rugs.
You are white, though.
No, well, on the outside.
Oh.
Genetically, I am broadly South Asian, according to my sister, who has done the 23andMe. That's what we are. Generic South Asian.
I don't believe it.
It's very exciting.
Think it's all a bunch of lies.
No, what are you talking about? Rugs.
Yeah.
We got an awesome sponsor for the show. Will you do the honors and shout
you
them
want
out?
me to talk about manscaped.com,
That's correct.
where you can get yourself some kind of a doohickey to shave your balls with? I think it's called the Lawnmower 2.0, right? That's what it's called, right?
Correct.
Yes, it is.
Okay. So, yeah, if you like to have a clean nutsack, I just can't believe, though, I'm doing this. But anyway, if you want to have a nicely presented family jewels and you want to put your dick in a box this holiday season, you should clean them up first.
Oh, that's nice.
Anyway, if you're going to do that, go to manscaped.com. You can get 20% off and free shipping with the code BIGHEADS, all in caps for some reason, at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use code BIGHEADS. I said it twice. So clean up your nuts and make Santa proud this year.
That's a great gift for the holiday
Very
season.
good.
Not only is that a great gift, but Dick in a Box is a great gift. This is my Dick in a Box.
Yeah, I think one.
Dick in a box,
You
baby.
get a box.
Depends whose dick.
Then you two.
I
you
guess
put
it
a hole in the
does
box.
depend what's in the box. There's three easy steps
You put your dick in.
to Dick in the Box. There we go. And there's your our mandated contractual dick joke to start the show. Let's get to the geek news.
The Jock and Nerd Podcast.
Yo, I got geeky up in Sao Paulo, Brazil last weekend. Anthony, were you there? Seems like a place you should be.
Was not there this time.
Oh.
No, sorry.
It's called Comic-Con Experience, CCXP in Brazil. Really becoming a big place to reveal stuff, such as a bunch of trailers and announcements. Let's just dig into the big one. Wonder Woman 1984.
Geek Boner.
Warner Brothers put out their first official trailer. And Gal Gadot, of course, looking as stunning as always.
Gadot.
Is it Gadot?
I think.
Is that how she says it?
Yes.
Gadot.
Get the fuck out of here.
Gadot.
Gadot, fuck with me.
Okay, you get your first look at Wonder Woman in 1984 with Kristen Wiig and Pedro Pascal and fucking Chris Pines as Steve Trevor. Anthony,
Yes.
what'd you think about this trailer? I love doing this. Is it
Geek Boner.
or?
Floppy jock.
More leaning towards geek boner.
Oh, nice.
The first thing I thought was, I recognize this white guy that looks to be the villain. Not realizing, oh my God, that's Pedro Pascal without a fucking mustache and like blonde hair.
That's the Mandalorian, people.
Yeah.
You want to see what he looks like? That's what he looks like with a really
That's what
bad
he looks
wig.
like.
Yeah.
That's what he
Yeah.
looks like. But overall, I mean, I wasn't super jazzed about it. I thought it looked pretty solid. I don't know. Maybe this is the first time that I'm feeling it. I think it'll be a good movie. I like that it looks different than the first one. So the first one had the World War I vibe. This one's clearly 80s with this like metal kind of like feel underneath it. But I am starting to feel a little bit of the superhero fatigue.
Oh, no. It's not going anywhere.
Maybe that's because there's nothing in this trailer that like would really excite me except the end, the little shot of her in some sort of different armor that I guess is a thing.
The golden eagle armor, yes.
Yeah, but overall it looked good though. I can't say there's anything bad about the trailer.
I love the music, Ruggs. New Order, Blue Monday, dope song. What'd you think?
I enjoyed the trailer. I wasn't overwhelmed or bowled over by it. I still think that Kristen Wiig is the weak part of this movie. They haven't shown you they're keeping Tiger to the vest.
Yeah, they're gonna hold that for later. Do you want to see her in a trailer? Or do you want to not spoil that? I'd rather probably show us later.
I don't know. I just feel like that there was not enough of a idea of the looming evil. You just see Wonder Woman doing a bunch of stuff. You don't see her doing it to anybody.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you don't know. I guess it's a teaser. You don't really know anything. But I feel like there was a feeling of that's it. Like, you know, because they showed the armor and that was the coolest thing. They saved that for the end.
That was the money shot in this one.
In place of like the big bad, you have the shot of the armor. So if the armor did it for you.
I think it's a good first trailer. You know, there's going to be more. It was good enough to give me slight geek boner. Like I said, I love the music. That move where she's dislodging the bullet out of the chamber in the air and knocks it away. That's fucking badass. They're not telling you how the fuck is Steve Trevor back, but I
know how.
I think I figured out the plot. By the way, I think the plot for this movie has been spoiled. But from what I can deduce, you have Barbara Minerva, who's working with Diana, and she maybe has a crush on her, wants to be like her, and you have Maxwell Lord saying, you could have whatever you want. What would you want if you wanted it? And then Steve Trevor shows up. So I feel like the Mandalorian is going to make a thing that gives people whatever they want. I believe that's what he does in the comics. So he brings Steve Trevor back, but then he also makes Kristen Wiig, gives her power to impress Wonder Woman. And then, I don't know, bad shit happens. Her riding on the lightning, some people are like, that's weird, but it looks kind of cool. I don't know.
Yeah, it looked fine.
That's kind of a fun comic booky fucking
ties
thing.
into like Greek gods and shit. Like that.
And you know what's funny about that is I'm going to spoil a little bit the finale of Titans season 2 because put the spoiler alert. They do kill a character, right? It's Donna Troy. You know how she dies? By catching a tower and then being electrocuted, and then she fucking dies. I was like, what the fuck?
She catches a what?
She catches like a tower that's falling on people, and then she gets hit by like an electrical line and dies. That's Wonder. It's Wonder Girl. Meanwhile, you got her Diana here riding on lightning, and they fucking kill Donna Troy off that way in Titans. It was dumb.
That sounds like terrible writing.
Oh my God, it was so dumb. That show was so dumb. But this trailer, yeah, it's good. Do you think that's the invisible jet we're seeing? That the quick shot we're in?
I mean, it's a jet with cloaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a jet.
So
with
I guess
cloaking.
it's like an invisible jet.
It does. The trailers, I just watched it again while you were talking.
Yeah.
It definitely has the let's just copy Thor Ragnarok kind of vibe in terms of making a trailer. Because it had the way even the titles crawl across the screen is very like synthy, and the way they have the bright colors crawling
It's
on the bottom.
trendy thing like Stranger Things.
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
neon from 80s.
Thor had the spirit of the 80s, but it wasn't an 80s movie.
Right.
It was like, because they used like, Zeppelin in it and stuff like that. It wasn't cued into the 80s. It was just using old nostalgic sci-fi.
Yeah, that was the aesthetic he picked.
This is like a little bit using like some of the ideas that Thor introduced, but then they're leaning really into the 80s with the malls and the Stranger Things looking shit that everybody's going to associate with Stranger Things.
Some of the hallway fight looks cool, and I kind of like how it's reversed. Steve Trevor now is the fish out of water, isn't he? She's going to have to explain to him what all this shit is.
Yeah,
she's doing.
that was good. I did think the trash can thing was a little cheesy.
Is that art? No,
he really doesn't know what a trash can is.
I mean, he's not a
They
fucking
look so
idiot.
different.
They're not just round cans. Yeah, how can you not tell it's a piece of... Speaking of art, well, I wanted to mention rugs. I figured out how we can make money with you.
Oh.
I'm going to take you... We're going to break into the Museum of Modern Art. I'm going to duct tape you to the wall.
And someone's going to eat me.
And then I'm going to sell you for $120,000. Seem to have worked for the banana. Why can't we do it with the rug boy? Anthony, did you hear about this story?
No.
This artist, installation artist, duct taped the banana to the wall of an art museum. Mm-hmm. He sold it for $120,000.
Oh, shit.
Right? Mm-hmm. This other dude rolls up. This he's a performance artist, and very calmly in front of everyone and the security guards, removes the banana and then just eats it. And the security guards try to stop him, and he's like, bro, I'm a performance artist. It's cool. This is my art. And apparently they were like, oh, okay, go ahead. Okay. It's good art.
They just
Wow.
said,
It's pretty good art.
Doing art.
Yeah.
On the art.
I was watching a UFC blog for this week.
Yeah.
And they were doing interviews with people, and then they cut to a banana taped to a wall, and I didn't get it.
That's it.
Now that makes sense.
Meanwhile, Boss Logic's been doing art like Baby Yoda taped to a wall and like a Pokemon card taped to a wall as like a meme. Yeah. So it works for the banana. We're going to do it with rugs. Listener, let us know what you think of this idea. And let us know what you think of the show. I want you to take a quick moment and take our audience podcast survey. You can find it at jockandnerd.com/survey. And there's a link in the show notes. You got to have it's audio branding. Let us know what you think. There's 3 easy questions that will help us improve the show. We'd love to get your feedback. You can be brutally honest if you want. It's anonymous. You can leave your name. You don't have to.
Is one of the questions, who is your daddy and what does he do?
What does he do? Put that cookie down. And I'm only going to tell you the link here in the show. That way, only our listeners can access it. I'm not putting this on social media or anything. It's very special just for you, jockandnerd.com/survey. I'm excited for Wonder Woman. It's coming out, June next year?
Sometime in June, yeah.
June 5th, 2020. Another trailer released by 20th Century Fox I thought was really fun was for this movie called Free Guy. You guys check this out, starring
I didn't
Ryan.
like it.
You didn't like it?
No.
Starring Ryan Reynolds. It appears to be a movie about a guy who's a bank teller and realizes he is a non-playable character in a video game.
Oh, shit.
I feel like this is like Wreck-It Ralph meets fucking that movie that we just reviewed.
Ready Player One?
Yeah.
I think it's funny, this 20th Century Fox movie, it starts out with the people who brought you Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, The Lion King twice from Disney. So there's like a little jab at Disney at the beginning of the trailer, even though they own them now. Anthony, what'd you think of this? I thought this was a kind of a fun idea.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the trailer was well done. I personally liked it most just because it has Mariah Carey "Fantasy" as the song for it.
Oh yeah, that's a good tune.
Which is a great song.
Yeah.
So I think it's a very well cut trailer. Is the idea all that intriguing for me? Is it a movie I'm going to probably see? Unless you tell me I have to go see it, I'm not going to probably see this. But it was for me. It was an entertaining trailer, if anything.
I feel it's like a very unnecessary movie that we don't need to see. But like, whatever. Like, I mean, it probably will be a romp.
Yeah,
It might be a fun romp.
It looks fun. I mean, Ready Player One was fun. Blake Braden.
This is not Ready Player One.
No, it's not, and it's not rated yet either. So I'm wondering, it's probably gonna be PG-13. But I was like,
I mean, it might have some gamer stuff in there that's cool for gamers, I guess.
Blake Braden posted on our Facebook group. Here's research material. This is Saints Row, Grand Theft Auto, Just Cause, and Ready Player One.
Yeah, I've played all those games and read all those books.
Yeah, rolled into one. So I don't know. I thought it was like a neat idea to do Ready Player One from the game's perspective, and Taika Waititi is in it also.
He's the bad guy, huh?
Oh, he's the bad guy? Is that what?
That's what it looked like. The
It's
trailer
just
was framing
absurd
it.
because NPCs don't have thought processes. They're just run programs.
Steve from Stranger Things is also in it. But he decided to not do the same thing every day, and
I guess it's a bug.
It is.
I don't know.
Yeah. All right,
Like Neo
yes,
or Smith. We've seen this before.
Yeah, it reminded me of a little like a Matrix light. Whatever.
Matrix,
Whatever.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, a little bit.
How?
I don't know.
Well,
That's not
Smith
even
is a program that doesn't do what he's supposed to do.
right.
And then
He's
all
a
of sudden
virus.
It
This guy
becomes a virus.
and his name is just Guy, and he's Free Guy, and now he's free.
As I watch it, I have to reiterate, I mostly like it because of the song and how it's cut into the trailer.
Because without the song, yes, it's.
I know people
just,
are all mad. Like, why are you shitting on this? I love this. I'm like, well, tough shit. I don't like it. Sorry. I'm allowed to have an opinion.
Okay, moving on to let's see. I'm dying to know if you're gonna like this one. I was excited for this trailer. It is the trailer for the new Ghostbusters movie being made by Jason Reitman, Ivan Reitman's son, written and directed by Jason Reitman, starring the original stars. It's called Ghostbusters Afterlife. Geek Boner. Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, Sigourney Weaver, and Annie Potts are expected to return. They are not in the trailer, though.
No, they're not.
So if you were expecting to see them in the trailer, you can forget about that. But what'd you guys think of this trailer?
I feel like a lot of people checked out of this one.
Really?
I've had people contact me and go, "Did you see this trailer? What did you think?" And I was like, "You know what? I don't know what to say about it." And they're like, "Well, if they don't have these guys in there, which they are in there, all the original stars
Yep.
are supposed to be back, but the fact that they had no Ghostbusters song, none of the guys,
Yeah, they didn't put the song.
and it was like it looked like a completely different genre of film, all of that stuff. People were raising eyebrows, but like, I don't know if this is like maybe some kind of a postmortem on Ghostbusters and putting it into some perspective, it might be fun. But like, I still don't know what this movie is. I still have no idea.
So it also features Paul Rudd, and you have the kid, another kid from Stranger Things, Finn Wolfhard, which Anthony, this kind of reminded me of like a Stranger Things movie.
Yeah.
I agree with Ruggs. It doesn't have the Ghostbusters feel yet. I feel they're just teasing us. You do see the Ecto 1. Were you a big Ghostbusters fan, and are you slightly geek bonered for this?
So I actually was a big Ghostbusters
Whoa,
fan
me
as a
too.
kid. I enjoyed both 1 and 2. I never saw the one with all the women in it. And then with all that negativity around it, I, again, never saw it, but with all the negativity around it, it just kind of soured me on the whole thing. So seeing that this is a movie and now a thing, I wasn't completely jazzed about it. Seeing the trailer, it didn't really feel like Ghostbusters. It kind of did feel like a Stranger Things type knockoff. There wasn't the music. There wasn't any of the old stars. So I didn't really feel much for it. But just here, like, I didn't even know up until you guys just said it. And maybe we've talked about it on the show and I just forgot that most of the original cast, except R.I.P., the other one of the guys.
Harold Ramis,
him being dead. The cast is back. So I think there is a lot of potential in this.
Yeah.
I think there's a potential, kind of a transitioning from the old cast to maybe a new cast. I like that Paul Rudd is in it because he is kind of the same vibe as all those guys were in the 80s.
Absolutely. He would have been in a Ghostbusters movie.
But the trailer itself did nothing to make me excited for any of that.
Yeah.
It's
It's just what we're talking about right now that's getting me excited.
The only things that got me excited is you see the ghost traps, you see a proton pack, you see the Ecto-1 and the siren of the Ecto-1, the original Ecto-1. But clearly this girl is Egon Spengler's granddaughter, Hal Ramis, the great Hal Ramis, who wrote and starred in the first one. Not with us anymore.
So is one of the people supposed to be the son of one of these characters?
The girl with the glasses is his granddaughter.
Whose granddaughter?
Egon's. Because remember,
which one was Egon?
Egon Spengler was the brainy scientist one, the tall, skinny one. Yes,
he's dead.
He's dead. Correct.
Yeah,
so and she goes to her closet and there's the Ghostbuster suit and it says Spengler on it.
If I was just gonna say, what would have put, even if they would have just had like a remixed version at the end of the Ghostbusters song, I probably would have creamed my pants in nostalgia.
It's just weird because that recent Ghostbusters that they remade, the reboot with all the women in it.
Yep.
They don't want to associate themselves
Not
with
at all.
that.
No, he says there hasn't been a ghost sighting for 30 years. They're ignoring that
so,
movie.
They're trying to, lean as far away from, anything Ghostbuster-y. I don't know why that decision was made, but that's what they're clearly doing. They're, going, okay, well, we tried to reboot Ghostbusters, and people didn't like it, and it probably has a stench of, why are you still making another Ghostbusters after this one failed at the box office? But then they're like, oh, Stranger Things is popular, so maybe we'll go in that direction.
Yeah.
But maybe a bait and switch. I think you can't have Stranger Things with Bill Murray in it. It's just not going to work.
Did you guys see the Ghostbusters 2016 movie?
I did.
Was it good?
For what it is, it was fine. It's funny. The cast is funny. You got 4 really funny women. You got Chris Hemsworth. It's fine for what it was. And
but was it Ghostbusters?
I don't know. It was something. It should have been just something else.
Or
Dan Aykroyd makes a cameo in that movie too.
They should have, if they wanted to do the legacy thing, they should have made one of the girls the daughter.
It's the granddaughter. Her mom is going to be the daughter. So I think
No, I'm saying
it's going to be
in
that
the
one.
all girl.
Yes. That would have been easy. I don't know why they decided to not do that. I think that also rubbed people the wrong way.
All girls for the sake of all girls, which is fine, but there's not really a connection to that.
But
another thing is that I don't know why once you would have Ghostbusters, you wouldn't have them anymore.
Why did they need to go away?
Unless whatever they did made all the ghosts go away forever.
Well, dude, I was reading this article. Here's a deep cut. One of the questions it asks is, why did Egon move to rural Oklahoma, that barn? The mine that they show, it's called Shandor Mining Company. Ivo Shandor was the architect who created the building that Sigourney Weaver was in. He explains in that movie that this building was created as a giant antenna to open the dimensions and bring in Gozer. And in this trailer, you kind of see a big dog gargoyle leg land on the car in front of Paul Rudd. Oh, shit. Similar to the first movie. I don't know if Gozer comes back.
I would say I still am anticipating this movie just because I am a Ghostbusters fan and it is connecting to the originals.
Yeah.
But even the setting, just as you mentioned, nothing about it felt like Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Ghostbusters occurs in New York City in a densely urban populated place, not in the middle of the country. I mean, ghosts can occur there, but not the feel that we've known from these 80s movies.
Yeah,
we'll see. The trailer didn't do a very good job of explaining this.
This movie is basically hampered by the fact that they tried to reboot it.
Yeah, the reboot coming so soon. Yeah,
it just cut them off at the knees. So they had to do something so different that now we're we don't know what we're gonna get. We're looking at this trailer. This could all happen in the first 20 minutes of the movie, and then all of a sudden the shit goes off all over the world, and they have to call the old guys who are all out on fucking fishing and golfing trips that need to fucking come home or whatever.
I would say, too, that it's hurt by the fact that we had a somewhat reboot with that all-girls film.
Yeah.
That reboot came, maybe 20 years after?
Yeah, 2016 was when it came out.
Well, how many years? When did Ghostbusters 2 come out?
86, I want to say?
Ghostbusters 2 was 89. Yeah. So 17 years later, they make this reboot with all girls. It doesn't do great at the box office, and there's just a ton of really not even negative energy, just like disgusting energy around it, just around the arguments around it, around the was it Jones? I forget what her name
Jones,
is. Leslie Jones, all of that was just really ugly vibes. So like I feel like all that whole
that stink is still on
that stink is still on Ghostbusters, unfortunately. And like if this was the reboot, I feel like more people might be excited. But the fact that it's now, been so long since we've seen the original characters, the reboot they make is completely different, and everyone is just super ugly about it. And now we're getting another reboot 3 years later. This has a lot of ground to like crawl out of, like a big hole to crawl out of.
All they have to do, the next trailer, just show me Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson.
Yeah,
give me the music. I'm back in.
I'm just very surprised that this is the direction that they took with the trailer. Maybe they did this to get people talking about how much it's not like Ghostbusters.
2016.
It's a marketing thing, maybe. They want people to talk, right? They want people talking about the thing. So they're like, what could generate more buzz? Like, is it people going, what the fuck is this? Or, this is like typical Ghostbusters that were.
It's Stranger Things, the movie.
Yeah.
Who are you going to call? The episode of the movies that made us about Ghostbusters
haven't seen that one
yet.
Very
good. I've
only seen the Home Alone and Die Hard one.
I will reveal one thing. Dan Aykroyd originally wanted John Belushi and Eddie Murphy in the movie for that part.
Instead of who?
Instead of Bill Murray.
And what's his name? Ernie Hudson?
No, they were the first choices for the second guy was John Belushi, and then if he couldn't do it, he wanted Eddie Murphy.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. But
do you think it turned out?
I think it turned out.
You think it just
would better? Belushi.
You think it would have been funnier?
Holy shit!
Same.
Belushi would have been amazing. I would have loved to see more John Belushi.
Eddie Murphy was hot at that time too.
Yeah, Eddie Murphy was very hot in that time, and also his first script it took place in space on a planet with Ghostbusters. It was completely different and wacky. And Ivan Reitman's like, hold on, like let me just. What if it's like this and writes this? I mean, Harold Ramis takes it and writes that whole version of what we saw. So I don't know. I mean, but it's still, he got an SNL alum, which is what he wanted.
Yeah. You know what's funny about that movie? I mean, I haven't seen it in a while.
It's still great.
Yeah, it's great. Both of them are fun. The second one's just a carbon copy of the first. But anyways, Bill Murray is remembered as this very comedic guy. Yet when my memories of that film, he is funny.
Yeah.
But he's almost kind of the badass of the group, which is kind of funny to think about now.
He's kind of a dick too.
He's like a much better version of what Chris Pratt tries to play in most of his films.
Yeah, because Egon was the smarty guy. Dan Aykroyd was the
Dan Aykroyd's
the wacky fun guy.
Right, he's the goofball. And then Ernie Hudson's kind of like the straight edge, the straight lace character.
Yeah, Hudson was the outside influence. Like, how do people from the outside?
He's a straight man. He's all like, what the fuck? I'm just here for a job.
And Bill Murray was like the badass dude.
Yeah, he's like the smart ass cocky badass dude that like jumps into battle and then gets the girl, but is also super funny and looks like fucking Bill Murray.
Yeah,
he's like what Adam Sandler tried to be in all his films, hooking himself up with a hot girl.
A little bit. Ray, when someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes. It's
What's
so
the first
good.
thing you thought of?
I tried not to.
The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Let's show this prehistoric bitch how we do things downtown. Oh, it's such a good movie. Bill Murray ad-libbed a lot of the great lines too.
Which one is the one? Good. It's the second one. I mean, for me, when the music is blasting inside of the Statue of Liberty and it's fucking walking, I get goosebumps even just thinking about that.
That's pretty good.
That part.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Bobby Brown had a hit single off the second one. It was huge for Bobby Brown.
Which song was that one?
Remember, it was On Our Own. There's the little rap part about too hot to handle, too cold to hold.
That was when they play that when they're in jail and all the ghosts start coming out of the sewers and stuff.
If I was you and me.
Yeah,
I'm not going to sing the whole song.
There's so many good moments in those two films.
You know where there was good shit at Brazil Comic Con. CCXP. Kevin Feige came and he did a lot of shit, dude. They got to see footage from the Eternals, raw footage, and one thing
uncooked.
It wasn't even done. He said it was straight out of the camera.
Wow.
Straight out of camera footage for the fans there that we won't get to see for a while. One thing I thought was cool, he talked about how the Eternals is an epic that's going to span 7,000 years of human history, has cosmic connotations, and changes everything we know about the MCU.
Geek boner.
Wow. That's crazy. Thoughts on that? Is it too ambitious? It's nuts. We're going to see the Deviants, the Celestials.
Is it too ambitious? No, I don't think it's too ambitious. I think, if anything, they have to kind of go for it with this film.
Yeah.
Because it's such a wacky idea and it's something no one knows about. And if they just go with a cookie cutter thing for this, it's not going to stand out.
Yeah,
they got to do something to make it important.
They alluded to the Celestials in other movies, so that's not that much of a reach. And the Deviants, you could tie it to Thanos.
But we're going to see them in their full glory and their full shape,
I'm just saying,
is awesome.
like, there's already a little bit of groundwork there.
Yeah.
They're not just like throwing it at everybody like without anything. Like, I think the Marvel fans will they're already looking all this shit up already. They're all doing their homework and researching. So when they get there, they're going to have a little bit of an idea what's going on.
I also feel though, like every MCU movie that comes out now, they're like, it will change everything you know about the MCU. Like every time. Like they said that with Black Widow, there's going to be things that change the way you look at other movies. Is that possible? You could do that every time?
Not every time, no. Isn't that the tagline on all comics too?
It is. They've changed everything you know. This is the end of existence as you know it.
Someone will die.
He also confirmed that the TV shows is the first time they will connect with the movies. And right after that, official word, we had talked about this earlier, but Variety reported Marvel Television officially shutting down. The only thing still in production is Hellstrom or Hulu. Everything,
some animation or something.
Is it? They are those animated shows they're going to put on Hulu. I think Hellstrom is live action.
Yeah, I think that's the only live action thing.
Everything else canceled. Cloak and Dagger, Runaways.
They're gonna finish out S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh fuck! I'm gonna watch the last season of S.H.I.E.L.D. One last season. Everything else is done, and then it will start with Winter Soldier and Falcon. That's not right. Falcon and Winter Soldier, which there was a photo they released, one set photo.
What about all this shit that I keep reading all over the internet about, like Daredevil and all that stuff? Is that bullshit?
I don't know. I haven't. They didn't say anything about that. I don't know what their plans are. If
no official.
No, nothing official, or if they're ready.
Resurrecting any of that stuff.
Yeah. There's also, they put out a picture of WandaVision where it looks like it's from like a 50s I Love Lucy sitcom in black and white. So that's wacky. I don't know what that's going to be. And
I'm not really enthused about that either.
She will be the Scarlet Witch in that show.
Of course she is.
Yeah. No, but they're going to call her Scarlet Witch. They haven't called her that. Oh. She hasn't got her full witch powers. Okay, here we go. Let's do a lightning round. I'm going to read out a couple of headlines. I want you to give me your quick comment. This one's pretty awesome. Women will direct 4 major superhero movies in 2020.
Geek boner.
The 4 movies are Wonder Woman by Patty Jenkins, Birds of Prey by, I don't remember her name, Black Widow by Kate Shortland, and Eternals by Chloe Zhao. Anthony, comment, is this a shift? Are we seeing a shift finally?
Maybe, yeah. I think we are seeing a shift in terms of more inclusion in terms of big movies.
Kathy Yan is Birds of Prey.
Yeah, so I think we're seeing a shift. And yeah, sure, it's a good thing. As long as the movies are good. I mean, and if they suck, so what, too? Men make terrible films all the time, so whatever.
Yeah, let some women suck.
And the live-action Mulan is by Nikki Caro. Nice. Bruggs, though, when was the last? I can't remember. This is the first time that you have 4 or 5 huge blockbuster movies directed by women. And if it makes a lot of money, like you just said, I think that's the most important thing.
Well, there's been plenty of times where 4 women have directed movies during the same year.
Yeah.
It's just that we're talking about major moolah going into this.
Huge tentpole films.
Yeah, so most of these women we've never heard of before, but they're gonna get their shot, and let's see what happens. I'm sure it'll be fine. So I'm sure that they're gonna be competent films. These the way that they make movies is not so dependent on the director anymore, and that's not really a slight to them, but it's just the fact that Disney is in charge and they're micromanaging everything. They have already a stunt team and a graphics team already in it's not like this thing where the director is going to completely change the vision of the movie. And that's not the way it is. So I think we're all pretty much going to get quality films. So I wouldn't be really worried about or even be surprised if they were great movies.
I mean, it's great to see. And, you mentioned we've not heard of, these women haven't made many movies. Same thing with the Russo brothers. I don't think they had made a movie. They just did TV. Same thing with some of the other male directors.
Yeah, it's basically
Star
what I'm
Wars
saying.
directors.
Yeah.
Right. So, the thing is, can you deliver? But that's great for women in the industry. Here's a great headline. In May 2021, we are going to reach peak Keanu sons. The Keanu-verse will implode on itself because Matrix 4 and John Wick 4 are going to be coming out the same fucking day. Oh, shit.
Wow. The same day? Whose idea is that?
We should bet on Keanu Reeves.
Who wins that one? In a fight and at the box office, May 21st.
Why would they do that?
I don't know.
How do we do this? It's like, are you more excited to see The Matrix return?
I am.
Or John Wick in yet another movie where he just kills a bunch of people?
Both.
Which one do you want to see more?
Holy shit. Matrix has had a longer absence, and they have a lot to make up after those.
I feel like
2
that
and
I'll
3.
be more surprised about what happens in The Matrix than I will with John Wick. Even though with John Wick, I know it's like when you go to McDonald's, you get a Big Mac, you're going to get something that you want.
Exactly. You know what you're going to get with John Wick. You know it's going to be satisfying, choreographed violence. I don't know what the fuck Matrix 4 is going to be. It's got Carrie and Moss. Yeah. Coming back. Anthony, you go to the theater. Both of these movies are playing. What do you go to? What do you see first? How do you do this? This is crazy.
I'd probably do Matrix 4.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I'm seeing them both.
At the same time.
No, but I'm going to see them both regardless.
I'd lean Matrix 4. I know I've seen John Wick 1. I don't know if I've seen the other 2, but I already know what it's going to be.
Yeah.
And it's fine. It's great. Yeah. It's good entertainment. As Brugg said, Matrix 4 could have some maybe, with the time off, it could have some new invigoration, some new ideas, something to kind of turn it on its head, and maybe be close to something that we saw in the original that'll make people talk and think about it a little bit.
Don't blow it a third time, Matrix.
Yeah.
But John Wick,
I feel like everybody's biting off the Matrix for the past decade. So
here's the problem. I agree with you guys. The Matrix has a lot more to lose than John Wick 4. John Wick being the more consistent franchise. Matrix, how do you now make a movie where your initial movie changed everything in Hollywood and everybody copied it and it's not original anymore?
People don't realize how much of a huge deal The Matrix.
It really was. It was. I mean,
were you part of that, Anthony?
I was. I think it came out with 99.
The first one.
Yeah.
I think
97,
it was
97, I believe.
No, I may have been 99.
Was it 99 or 98 or something?
1999, the first one.
99. So I was
99.
Turn of the century.
12 years. This was when pop culture started to influence me back then.
Yeah.
That's probably about the age. So yeah, I was completely aware of the Matrix, and even at my age, everyone in our school was talking about it. It was the thing to try to get to go see, sneak into the movie theater, or get your parents to go take you to go watch it. So yeah, I remember it very vividly.
I remember everybody talking about it. Huge, not just for the bullet time and the technological stuff they did, but for the kung fu that was in there and the wire work and the martial arts. Like, you hadn't seen anything like that in a long time. In a big movie, Zika had posted David Zika on our Facebook group, this movie on Netflix. It's called Iron Fists and Kung Fu Kicks. It's a documentary on the history of martial arts, Hong Kong martial arts films. I watched it. It's very good. And in it, they mentioned like how important The Matrix was. And then you had Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon that won a fucking Oscar, and it had Hong Kong wire work and Hong Kong Kung Fu in it. So it was a huge movie. And then what happened with 2 and 3? They couldn't fucking figure out what to do.
The brothers at the time couldn't deliver.
Well, and now one sister is coming back to do this movie. That's going to be the peak Keanu sons. And then the following
One of those movies are going to move. They're not going to do the same movies on the same day.
You know what? It may help each other. Be like, oh, you want to see more Keanu? I'm not done. Go over here. You see this one? I want to see more Keanu.
I don't know how that works.
No?
Really, I mean, it has to happen just so like we could say that it happened.
I don't think anyone should move. I think we need the Keanu off.
This would be like, it would make history. Like a guy had 2 movies premiere on the same fucking day.
And if they're like both huge, like that's crazy. He would be everywhere.
I guess I could see a roundabout way where it could create a lot of hype for just Keanu, and you have to spend a Keanu weekend with him.
Yeah, it'll be like this whole Keanu thing.
And then the new Bill and Ted movie will come out. He's going to rule the world. Keanu for president. Oh, shit.
He'll get in a Marvel movie eventually, too.
They've been talking to him. They're going to put him in there very soon, I feel.
He's going to be Nora and Rad.
He could be Silver Surfer, maybe a Moon Knight. I don't know if you do TV.
I love him as a Silver Surfer, actually.
That'd be kind of sick. I like that. So the next year, The Flash finally gets a release date with Ezra Miller. I'm not buying this. I'll believe this shit when I see it. This movie,
they got to start filming it.
It's when it's gone through 7 fucking directors. It'll be out July 1st, 2022, with its director Andy Muschietti, and still with Ezra Miller.
It's like they keep threatening to make this.
We'll put this out, you bastards.
We're doing it.
Don't make us do it.
And then just announced.
I swear we'll do it. Don't make me.
Shazam 2, also April 1st, 2022, coming out 4 months after the Black Adam movie. I don't know if that's too close to Black Adam, but it's a fun movie. Sure. Give me Shazam and The Rock and Levi and The Rock in a movie.
The Rock says, that's it. That's all I got.
Shazam. That's all he says.
The Rock says, Shazam.
So a lot of fun things to look forward to in the next few years, Anthony. The superheroes aren't slowing down.
They'll never slow down.
The genre movies are not slowing down.
Oh, my God.
You're going to have to get over your superhero fatigue.
I'll be over it. Once Black Widow comes out, I'll probably be all about it again.
And then the last thing in the news, as we record, we are exactly 1 week away from Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. Geek Boner. Releasing December 20th.
Did you get your tickets in, Rob?
I did not, but I did check my Fandango, and there's still fucking seats. There's still seats. It's not a big deal. Come on.
We should just tell the audience now, the next show will not be a Star Wars review. It'll be the week after. So
yes, because
I know a lot of people will be seeing Star Wars, and they might be curious to hear what our thoughts are. We'll do instant reactions, but you won't hear our thoughts till at least a week or a little over a week after.
So you have a week to watch the movie, basically, is what that means, listener.
We care about the fans. We don't want any spoilers. Wu-Tang is for the children, so there you go.
Hey, Son, yo, what's up? So, yeah. But just today, they put out a clip that, like, the Star Wars fans of my office came over. They're like, holy shit, did you see this clip? They're like, it's a little spoilery, but you got to watch it. So I'm going to hit this.
Spoiler alert.
Just in case you've been avoiding the clips. But I thought it was really curious. Anthony, Ruggs, you explain what's in this clip. That's because Anthony's not.
You guys start.
Yeah, Anthony doesn't know shit about Star Wars, but we're taking him along for the ride.
Kylo Ren's ship flying towards, I believe. Yeah, well, it's a ship. It flies. It's flying somewhere into like some darkness, and then you hear the Emperor Palpatine saying things, and then you see Kylo Ren kind of going to meet this voice, and it says that I've been in your head this whole time. Every voice that you've heard has been mine, and there's some cackling.
Oh shit!
And I don't know, is that what that is?
That's it. The clip's called Kylo Ren meets the Emperor. But
well, there's other like little clips of other characters.
No, but Ruggs, if you pay attention, he says every voice you've heard in your head has been mine the whole time. But he says it in 3 different voices.
That's right.
The first time it's the Emperor's voice. The second time he sounds like Snoke from Last Jedi.
Darth Vader.
And then it's Darth Vader.
Shit.
What the fuck? Was he Snoke? Is Palpatine been Snoke this whole time? He's been manipulating Kylo Ren this whole time?
Maybe.
This movie has a lot of explaining to do,
Yeah.
You know?
Why do you think that they put this out? They just dropped like a long ass trailer like about a month ago.
And this is so like reveal-y, spoilery. I'm very confused. To me, it means one of 2 things. A, they are so confident in what they have left in the surprises. They're like, yeah, fucking put this out just to fuck with the fans. Or B, this movie's going to be a hot dumpster fire. And they're like, oh, fuck, we got to put something out to get people really hooked.
I think
it did get me hyped for it, but I don't know why you would put this out a week before.
I think it's pre-sales. I think that the pre-sales are not looking like. I mean, I know that they made this big announcement that they
always do.
Outsold
yes,
this
highest pre-sales.
whatever. But they said did the same thing with Han Solo, that they sold out and whatever for pre-sales, and then they end up tanking at the box office. So maybe the sales aren't really what they need, and so they needed to do something. They realized the interest isn't there, so they put out this little extra tidbit to kind of, sweeten the pot a little bit, start some water cooler talk. I don't know. It's weird. It's very strange that they would put out this trailer like a week before when they didn't need to.
And it kind of worked on me. I've been trying to avoid any spots, but this was like, I was like,
the
oh,
second
shit.
thing that makes me think this is that there's now a trend going on.
Yes.
So the press tour's going on, and you're seeing Daisy Ridley and the guy who plays Finn, John Boyega, kind of taking digs at The Last Jedi.
Well, and J.J. Abrams, too, is trying to very carefully maneuver in these interviews what he wants to say. And my issue is I hope this movie just gives me a satisfying conclusion to this long-ass story. And it doesn't seem like they reacted to the fan backlash from Last Jedi and changed things just because. Don't pull a Warner Brothers. That's not a good idea.
Well, look, what do? I mean, they had Rian Johnson pretty much do whatever he wanted to do with it, and people didn't like it. I mean, some people love it, but a large majority of the people don't like it or whatever. And now you have the people that are in the movie who are supposed to be talking shit about the movie. They were just trying to distance themselves from the decision.
And all John Boyega said was, he thinks Last Jedi is iffy, and he got into so much shit.
But this is the best thing this is the thing that I love. It's so like ridiculous. When it's karmic retribution for people acting like the pearl clutchers. Remember when Kelly Tran got all that shit for being in The Last Jedi? We're just existing. Yes. All right, so now John Boyega is doing a press tour, and those things are tough. They're sitting there talking, and sometimes you say something stupid. People are attacking him, like the defenders of The Last Jedi are attacking him, and calling him an asshole for talking shit about The Last Jedi. I'm like, these are the same people. It is not right to attack a star of a movie. They're doing what they're told. They're doing blah blah blah. Yeah. So it's always the hypocrisy of people. As long as they're saying shit that you don't like or whatever, you can fucking say whatever you want. So it's just hilarious to me.
Anthony, could you have ever predicted Star Wars being as divisive as it is? It's crazy. I could never have seen this coming.
I don't know. I mean, I don't remember what the reaction was to the original trilogy. Or not the OT? Episodes 1 through 3.
Oh, the prequels.
Because I remember a lot of people saying that they were bad, but the internet wasn't around. So I feel like the internet if the internet was around, we might have had just as much backlash, maybe not in the same way, but I feel like we would have had a lot of backlash.
Well, they don't listen to the backlash then. Now they do because it's so public and everybody can see it. Yeah.
The vocal minority can really fuck up your production and your story these days. They can change a movie. It is crazy. Hey, at least we all still have Baby Yoda.
Talking nerd.
Prediction.
Baby Yoda, yeah.
Do you think that this movie is going to do well? Because I think we're not going to review it, right? This is the last time we're going to talk before it comes out.
Exactly.
Let's make a little bit of a little...
Well, we talked last week that they were estimating a $170 to $200 million opening.
You think it's going to hit it?
I think this will make more than The Last Jedi. Last Jedi made $220. I think it beats $220 opening weekend.
Well,
okay.
Yeah.
I don't really know because I just don't have my finger on the pulse of Star Wars fandom. If I had to guess, I'd go 200. But I think it will be an entertaining film. It will be mostly satisfying because I think with J.J. Abrams behind the helm and with the way that they've been kind of listening to everything, I think they're going to make a film that is not wholly satisfying, but enough to not cause the same amount of backlash the last one did.
To me, the die has been cast. All right? The Last Jedi pretty much did the damage it did. So I'm like, all right, I don't give a fuck at this point. I'll go see the movie. I'm not not going to go. I'm not protesting and sitting it out or anything. I'll go see it. I'm like, look, the damage has already been done. Let's see how this fucking thing ends. And then I can move on with my life. So I'm hoping that a lot of people are having that same attitude and people are not going to just sit this one out because of whatever reasons, like fan reasons. But like, you never know. I really don't know how it's going to play out. I feel like that this little trailer release was a bit of a tell.
Yeah.
And the fact that those guys are walking it back a little bit to try and please fans is a little bit of a tell. So I don't know. Maybe they're panicking over there.
I feel like it may be a little desperate, but it's going to be heavy on nostalgia. And if at this point, if it's just a remake of Jedi again, I guess I'm okay with that. I don't know how all these new characters fit in. But look, Lando, throw in some Ewoks. I don't fucking know. What's funny is if you watch that clip that we talked about on YouTube, the next video is Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, full movie plot breakdown, ending changes. Like, I believe the plot for this whole movie has been on the internet for a while. Like, people know what it's going to be. Similar to Wonder Woman. So you can't even keep it a secret.
Dude, some of these things that leak on Reddit and stuff are actually 100% true.
Well, you heard the story of the script, right, you guys?
No. What, that it was John Boyega's script?
John Boyega left his script under his bed and forgot about it. His housekeeper found it, gave it to someone else. It went up on eBay for a day before someone from Lucasfilm noticed and fucking bought it. And it was only up there for like $30. Like, I don't think the guy who found it knew what the fuck he had. But fucking Boyega, how does that not get you fired? He left, he leaked the whole script.
He can't, I mean, he's so far into the movie.
He was like, whoops, that was me, sorry. So that's probably why. Now, if you don't care about Star Wars at all, listener, well, you can enjoy.
You can hang out with me.
You can hang out with Anthony, and you guys can watch.
Hit on chicks.
So you can hit on chicks, or
whatever you want.
Or you can watch a sexy.
I could be your wing for anything.
You can watch a sexy Henry Cavill with long white hair in The Witcher. That also comes out December 20th on Netflix.
Oh,
you can Netflix and chill with Anthony. How about that?
I'm down to hang.
Yeah.
Bro, do you even podcast?
He does.
I like tacos.
I like money, though. All right. Look, let's take a quick break here for some promos, and we'll be right back with this Crisis on Infinite Earths review right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Transmission commencing.
This is Wookiee Radio.
Translated for the Wookiee impaired. I like that Wookiee.
Your hosts, Ken, Derek, and Mike, bring you the latest news and commentary from the far reaches of the galaxy.
Hold it. I said hold it.
Subscribe today on iTunes and Stitcher.
I just assumed he's a Wookiee.
Start listening today, and remember,
the Force will be with you, always.
Hi, I'm Mark.
And I'm Carol.
And we're the hosts of Retro Late Fee. We are stuck in 1994.
And we can't get out.
We're watching all the movies and TV shows that you probably remember, I guess. Somehow we're speaking to you through some kind of time portal.
Right.
Join us every week for great movies and TV shows from 25 years ago.
It's fun, I swear.
And
Listener, if you enjoy the show and you want to support us and give us a reason to keep podcasting, join the fan club. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon, where you help out the cost of the show and you get t-shirts, stickers, and bonus content and exclusive RSS feed just for our Patreon members that has instant reactions. It's got movie reviews. The shows come out early. And that's where you find actual sports talk with Jock Talk with Anthony and Chaz.
Their bottom is very weak.
And
special guest, new old contributor to the Patreon. He's recontributing now, I believe. At least that's what he said. Mr. Roberto Rivera joined the show. And he wasn't contributing because his credit card expired, and I told him that if he ever wanted to listen to himself talk about sports with two guys that never played past high school, he would have to start giving us some money. So I think he is. So first of all, he had been.
Yes.
He was giving us $5. We did a movie for him. He was giving us $5. Then he was at the $10 level.
Yeah.
And then I think he did this as a joke, Roberto. Let me know what was going on. He increased his pledge for like half a day today to $69.69.
Oh,
and then it went back to $10. So I don't know what he was doing. I don't know if he meant that as a
he
joke.
can pick another movie though.
Yes, if you're Roberto, go ahead, pick another movie. We did a movie for him. It's and he is not Jess
What movie
Rivera.
did we do
It's
for him?
related to Jess Rivera. For Roberto Rivera, he gave us $10 a month, where you get to pick any movie for us to review.
Yeah,
And
which one did he do for us?
hold on, I'm stalling while I bring up
gotcha.
the fucking thing.
Perfect.
He did Ready Player One.
Oh, not a bad movie.
Shit. That was his pick. So you want to throw us another one? We still have a bunch of movies in round one, you guys. We got to get back to.
We'll do
once
it.
it calms down a little. But that all the information.
Instead, you have us watching shitty TV. You could have had us
we're
watch
going to talk
pick.
about shitty TV. So, listener, join up, jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Let's talk about the Arrowverse on CW. Crisis on Infinite Earths just had its first 3 parts released this week. And before I hit the spoilers, I want to tell the listener, I know there's some of you that have not watched this, and you're going to wait till it's all come out so you can fucking illegally stream it somewhere or binge it later. That's fine. That's why I put all the work in the show notes, listener, to tell you where the spoilery shit is. So I'm going to play a spoiler alert. You can look in the show notes and jump to the next section. Got it? Great. Good. Here we go.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
That was for Wes Cranford, who's like, can you tell us when the spoiler alert? I'm like, it's in every show notes of every goddamn post in every episode. Somebody please look at the hard work.
They just get used to hearing it like, oh, I want to hear that. And then they forget that that's a warning.
And you know what? You don't worry about this not getting spoiled. It's fine. This season's crossover, the 3rd one in a row or the 4th they've done.
No, this is longer.
What was the name of the last one?
The last one was there was the Crisis on Earth X was the Nazi one. Invasion was the first one with the aliens.
No, they've done. I can count it for
and
you.
then
1, 2, 3,
what was
4,
last
5,
year?
6, 7, 8. This is the 8th crossover.
What? They've done 8 crossovers?
So 2014-15 was Flash versus Arrow.
Oh, okay, that counts.
2015-16 was Heroes Join Forces and World's Finest.
Okay.
2016-17 was called Invasion, and then they did one called Duet.
Okay.
Which was Flash and Supergirl in like a singing one. 2017-18 was Crisis on Earth X.
Yep.
Last year was Elseworlds.
The Elseworlds.
Yes.
That's right. Remember the Elseworlds?
I don't remember any of them.
Barely remember.
I barely remember most of these. So.
This one, though, based on a classic, huge comic book called Crisis on Infinite Earths, 12-issue miniseries from 1985, written by Marv Wolfman and penciled by George Perez. And I've actually, thanks to the DC app, I went back to reread it. I don't think I ever read it. I got through the first 8 issues, and they pulled a lot. They actually made a lot more sense. They pulled a lot from the comic book. But I love the fact that they had set this up from the very first episode of The Flash when you see the newspaper Flash missing in Crisis. Remember that?
I do.
That and initially it was like 2049, and then in the last 5 seasons of The Flash, shit happens. The date rolls back, and now it's 2019. So we got the first 3 parts of this 5-hour crossover. First 3 parts coming to us courtesy of Supergirl, Batwoman, and The Flash, and it will come back January 14th. So, fellas, look, the only show I'm still watching is The Flash and Legends.
That's 2.
That's 2. But and the reason is Legends is just fun and comic booky, and The Flash is like it's like hanging out with these guys, and I just kept watching. The others, I tried to watch Arrow this season. I dropped off. Supergirl, I dropped off a while ago. I've seen some Black Lightning. I'll tell you, Black Lightning's a pretty fucking good show. It's got the most distinct style out of all of these. It's the least like CW Arrowverse show out of all of them. But
what about Batwoman?
Batwoman's is all right. It's again the CW formula.
Sure.
So, but throughout these episodes, you kind of got hints of what was going on. Remember, let's just talk overall what our feelings were before we get into all the fun cameos. But remember, we used to watch all this shit all the time.
Well, when Arrow first came out, there was nothing like it on. I mean,
correct.
Of course, the Buffy universe and stuff like that, and there was a couple of like team shows, but they weren't comic book oriented. And that first season of Arrow was like him going through that list and doing in the flashbacks and all that stuff. So it was great because it was so different. And then once he got that team together and it became a team show and you had that little like Scooby Gang, and then all the other shows started doing the exact same thing.
Yep.
It just started to get really fucking repetitive, and it completely shifted like what the target demographic. You're going after like tweens, basically.
And they got a new show coming out, and we'll talk about that trailer. It's doing the same thing. But for me, at this point, it's like a guilty pleasure because Anthony, the scope of shows we get now, you got the fucking Boys, Watchmen, Umbrella Academy, all the Netflix stuff. It's kind of surpassed when we started the podcast. There wasn't much more, and we were reviewing episode by episode. And now what did you think looking back at this?
Yeah, so I have kind of a long opening thought because there is a lot that I owe to these shows, because a lot of the reason why we started this podcast was not only the Marvel movies, but the fact that there were these shows.
Yep.
So we had something to talk about every week.
Yep.
So that was the backbone of the starting this podcast. So in that sense, we owe that to these shows. I do believe that at the time there was some magic around Arrow, and there was some magic even around the Flash. I enjoyed those shows at the time. Definitely, obviously, quit after a while. But as you mentioned, there's a lot of other TV that's come out now that's obviously way better, very much higher quality of production, better acting. So now being inundated with that, and being away for so long, and then jumping back into this, I have to say I'm surprised that I actually enjoyed this kind of show for such a long time. I was almost upset by the end of the third episode that I'm like, God damn it, Imran, why did you make me watch this?
See,
everything about these shows is so cheeseball minor league. The only good thing I can say about it is that it's somewhat cute in a sense, but the special effects are awful, the sets are awful, the acting is really bad, the fight scenes are really bad. I don't know what the fuck happened. I don't know how I was.
What
they must have like shot like some sort of brain wave technology and altered my brain when I was watching these every week.
No, I mean the first few of them, they were good. They were untested, right? They had no idea what they were doing. They were trying new things. They were good. I go watch the first season of Arrow. It's actually very gripping and fun, and a fun watch.
That's what I remembered.
Yeah.
And, but then what happens is the whole Berlanti thing became a formula and gets formulaic and it gets tired. And even Supergirl, you joined the CW and got the formula. And so, when it at that point, it's just like faux of the week, bullshit of the week. And then you just, that overarching story, that overarching thing is just, it's gone. And it just becomes boring as fuck or as predictable as fuck. You're going to have people hook up and then it's not going to work out. And then they're going to have to, it's always, they do it in every show.
I mean, it's soap opera.
They're going to have a kid. The kid's going to be from another, and they hide the kid and the kid goes away. And it's all the conventions of, typical soap opera bullshit. So,
the only thing I do fully appreciate is that it's so comic booky. They embrace the shit and the canon and the universe and all the cheesy shit so much that it makes you smile. For what they're trying to do.
I don't know. I don't know if smile would be the word.
Smile.
I would say what they've done is they have certainly found the niche that they like.
Yeah.
And they've crafted this for X amount of years.
They're pumping it out now.
Yeah, and they're leaning so far into that niche.
Yep.
They have an audience that likes this, and I'll be damned if anyone else gives a fuck. There's enough people that do care that they don't have to change anymore. They've found the formula, and this is what it is.
I mean, these shows are running the network at this point.
This is like when you were a kid and you were eating Lunchables every day.
Yeah.
And you're like, man, these Lunchables are awesome. And you grow up, and you're eating like real sandwiches that you made or like your you could buy, and then you go back to eating Lunchables. And you're like, wait, I was eating like dog meat. What is this? What am I doing here?
Yeah. So I think for that reason, it's nice to check back in with with these shows to see where we come from, just like you said. And plus,
that was a tough 3-hour check-in.
But you know what? They're 44-minute episodes. It's really only a little bit over 2 hours is total content time. But
I couldn't tell you what happened.
Well, we'll go through the cameos.
I couldn't tell you what the plot was.
Well,
I was so dismayed by how bad everything is. I literally was like, everything is bad.
Yeah.
It was unintelligible.
Yeah.
It was completely... Like, I had no idea what anybody was doing. There's people that were doing nothing. There were a lot of talking. And I was just like, all right, let's stick around for the next cameo. All right, oh, that was cool. Oh, that's what he looks like now. Oh, she doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
What the hell happened to her? And then, like, that was the fun of me watching it. Okay, we're gonna fucking dig up, prop up, stuff into a fucking costume, and like, let's see what happens.
I mean, to their credit,
that was it. That was the fun for me of watching.
They pulled a lot from the comics, like I said, the Monitor, the Anti-Monitor, the Shadow Demons, the Quantum Towers, the Pariah. He's from the comics, but they shoved it all into their thing.
That's cool that they pulled it all from the comics, and I'm glad at least like you think you're appreciating it, but the cheeseball factor is so high, and the special effects and the fight scenes are awful.
Yeah,
it's awful.
Looking back, you're like, wow.
I don't remember them being that bad.
I thought it was a little bit better, like even Arrow and I don't know.
Arrow towards the end used to be like this whole, always used to have a fight scene where it was like the music is playing, it's like choreography, and it's like dun 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 dun, and it's just like everyone's just like doing like acrobatics all around.
So what is the plot? There's the Monitor who makes Layla the Harbinger, and she gathers all the heroes.
Oh, I don't even think you need to go that
late in the game,
that detailed.
He's like, oh, we need 7 Paragons, and then they got to find the Paragons, and then I even forget what the fuck happened.
There's a
cosmic
plot,
treadmill.
The overall plot is the Anti-Monitor is destroying the multiverse, and the heroes got to get together.
Which is
this whole 7 Paragons and the treadmill. Who gives a fuck?
Cosmic, it's a treadmill.
Yeah, I got to run on a treadmill to stop something. I'm like, this is... DC sucks. That's all I keep thinking. I'm like, this is how they think of how they... I mean, like, I understand that, like, okay, if you have a guy that can move at the speed of light, like, that kind of movement...
Yeah. The Speed Force, man!
You can really do a lot with that power. But then how they decide to visualize it and bring it to life is a fucking treadmill. And that's why I don't like DC.
Yeah,
that's why
that
DC
is
sucks,
the Cosmic Treadmill is from the comics.
Like,
yes,
that's how like dorky the DC guys are that create this shit. Like they can't figure out a way. Like I don't know.
What
they
if
just
it's a
always
treadmill?
make it so lame.
I mean, this is from the company that has heroes called Matter Eater Lad and stuff. You know, they're not good with the names. And I love the plan was like, what if we just run backwards on the treadmill? Oh, maybe that'll work. And they get. They give you...
I don't even know. I feel like the plot is not worth discussing.
No, it's not.
That's already too much thought being put into this.
Why is there Paragons? So anyway, the Monitor knows everything.
Yes.
And he knows that all of these people have to get around. But what do they do together? Nothing. They do. One guy does one thing over there.
Yeah.
And then another guy, and then everybody die. It's like, and now they're like, some of them are in a place that makes no sense. That's outside of space and time that looks like a garage.
They're in the negative.
Like, I don't know. It's just so lame.
Is it called the negative
No,
zone?
it's not the negative
What the
zone.
fuck was it called? The vanishing point.
The Paragons are all basically gods, I guess, or special human beings that have a role in stopping
They
us.
represent...
And it's down to these last 7 people.
They represent human qualities.
What do you think it's going to be?
And hope.
Like, every single thing that they've done has been the lamest thing. Nonsense. Like, ever. I don't know. It's just, this whole thing is just, like, why did they go to, one episode is just Barbara and what's her name? No, Kate Kane and Supergirl going to visit Batman, and nothing happens. Like, Batman dies because he's a dick.
Yeah, so
that's it.
So we got our Kevin Conroy Batman, and we find out that he has killed everyone. And thinks the world should end.
World, yeah.
And he's like, you know what? This world should probably end. And he has some kryptonite, and he punches Supergirl. But then he gets punched into a box and dies of electrocution.
It was
something.
He literally like trips and falls onto like the first thing that he hits electrocutes him.
It is.
There was no like even cinematography where it pans to this thing that he could probably nothing. They just. Okay, well, I guess he's going to fall and die. Okay, let's move on to the next plot point.
Well,
it was so poorly done.
And the fact that they went to go get this Paragon, they think it's Batman. Yeah. They realize it's not Batman. They come back. The whole time it's been Kate Kane. So literally, she went on an adventure.
Just to show
no reason.
Just to show Kevin Conroy.
Just to come back and realize, if you would have just stayed on the goddamn ship, you wouldn't have wasted any time.
Who's writing this?
Listen,
it's terrible.
They needed to shove in so many cameos that they're just making shit up. And yeah, Kevin Conroy, basically not the best live action Bruce Wayne or Batman. Great voice.
No.
Not the best.
I was on Twitter, and Devin Faraci.
Ooh, Devin Faraci.
He posted, this might be the best comic book thing I've ever seen this year.
What?
And I'm like, you gotta be trolling.
Yeah.
Please be trolling. And I just wrote, no, it's not.
Somebody else on our Facebook group was like, this eats the entire MCU universe, this crossover. And I was like, I don't know.
If you really like Cheeseball. I mean,
really
some of the
don't like anything making any sense.
Some of the two of the cameos that made me laugh the most was the old Robin just being like, gee willikers, or whatever he said, whatever his line.
Crimson skies of death.
Yeah, that he said like this old fat dude.
So that's Earth 66, and he's walking his dog. Hilarious.
Yeah. The other one that made me laugh, and it's not at all funny, is the one that ties into the Birds of Prey show from Fox. Where they just,
yes.
I don't know who's on the phone. Who is that?
That was Barbara Gordon, Oracle.
Oracle?
Yeah.
No, I thought she was calling Oracle.
That was Huntress.
Huntress.
Yeah.
I thought she was calling Huntress. Whatever. She's literally just calling one of the Birds of Prey, and she just gets annihilated. Like there's not even.
Well, her universe just wipes out.
Well, I know, but there's that show is so niche that if you didn't know that show existed, you'd just be like, oh, that's just a civilian dying on screen.
Wearing a fucking costume. Same actress from Birds of Prey. That was
one.
Earth 203. Here's some other great cameos. Right in the beginning, in the first episode, you see Earth 89, which is the Batman 89 universe, and you got Alexander Knox from the Tim Burton movie, Robert Wall. Looking up, and you hear, I love how you hear the Danny Elfman Batman cue. You hear Superman music. You heard the Flash music from the 90s show. Then Hawk and Jason Todd from the Titans show, real quick, their universe gone. Then you see Dick Grayson, you see the Ray from Earth X. Will Wheaton is in the show holding a sign, which is
Who's Will Wheaton?
Will Wheaton was from Star Trek. He's a big geek dude out there now. And then Oliver dies at the end of the first episode. And I didn't think they would do that in the end of the first episode. But even that was kind of like, that's how he's going out.
How's he die?
Remember, he was fighting the shadow demons.
Yeah, he runs out of arrows and saves a million people by holding off the shadow
demons. Or a billion or something.
But he's already back.
And that was such a letdown, too. That wasn't even there's been moments in an Arrow that has been way more gripping than that.
Well, what I think what's going to happen with Oliver, so then they toss him into the Lazarus pit, but then he has no soul. So then another great cameo from Constantine and Lucifer, who's on a completely different show. It's on Netflix now. They try to bring him back from purgatory, and then Jim Corrigan, the Spectre, Geek Boner, shows up, and he's like, Oliver, you got to come with me. I think Oliver's going to be the Spectre now.
That's what it would seem like. Man, you are putting a ton of thought into this.
That was very weird. Okay, wait, more fun cameos. I wanted to ask you, the second episode, Batwoman, we get to see the John Cryer Lex Luthor from Supergirl and the Book of Destiny, which is all very geeky. I kind of like the John Cryer Lex.
Really?
I did. For this show.
Am I surprised?
For this show, I thought it worked. It's hard.
He is awful.
Dude, Michael Rosenbaum is fucking Lex Luthor. He's the best Lex Luthor that there's ever been.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that they didn't get him to do this, because he would have probably classed it up a little bit.
It's hard not to see the two what's that show called? Two Broke Men? That's not it. The fucking show.
Two girls, a guy in a pizza shop.
No, two girls, one cup. No, the show John Cryer is from with Charlie Sheen.
2.5 Men.
2.5 Men. Yeah, it's hard to kind of not see him as that guy, but I thought he was a fun Lex Luthor.
Jeez, Imran.
I thought
the only reason that he gets any cred because he was in Superman 4.
He was in Superman 4, really bad movie where they ran out of money. Yeah. They do the nice little nod to the death of Superman for a second, where they're in another world and Superman gets killed.
Well, his cape is on a flag.
Yes,
and he's wearing the cape.
How's that possible?
At the same time.
Ruggs, did you watch all of Smallville?
Yes, I did.
So, what did you think of the Tom Welling Smallville cameo? Motherfucker still refuses to put the goddamn suit on. Because we find out
want to do it.
He's given up his powers. Similar to Superman 2. A lot of nods to Superman 2 in this whole thing.
I did find it odd that you have a multiverse and the Clark Kents all look different.
They should.
I know they're trying to be cute and have all the different Supermen in one film, but
technically
they should, or one show, but they shouldn't all look different. They should all be the same guy.
Maybe one guy's older with white hair.
Right.
Well, I mean, it could be just the result of DNA doing different shit. I don't know.
I guess.
Different universes. I don't know.
Okay, well, what did you guys think of Brandon Routh getting to play Superman again?
I feel like it was fun. That was my favorite part of it, I guess, as far as seeing somebody in costume and going, that guy's a great Superman. Like, he would be cool seeing Superman.
I would say the fact that you had the other two Supermen on, I don't watch Supergirl all that often, if ever, so I don't really know how Tyler Hoechlin is.
He's all right.
But he did not show out well compared to the other two guys. The other two guys have a lot more charisma as Superman than he does. At least in this 3 episodes.
Wait, then Tyler, you mean?
And now like the guy, but Brandon Routh is like a foot taller.
Yeah, I'm talking about Brandon Routh and Tom Welling.
Yeah,
like they actually felt like Superman.
Yeah, yes, okay.
And Tyler Hoechlin just felt like a guy
just
wearing
like a
suit.
dude there. Yeah.
Oh my God, the fight scene between him and Brandon Routh.
He goes bad for a second. Also, like in Superman 3.
I'm going with. They tried to recreate the feel of Man of Steel when they were fighting, and like the sonic boom of them colliding. Oh my God, that was awful.
That's
so
the greatest. So that's Earth 96, but I'm confused because this appears to be like Kingdom Come universe, but also the Donner. It's the Donner movie universe.
I don't understand why you're putting this much thought.
I don't know. It's just I have to.
Why
know
are you
these
trying
things.
to figure this out?
I have to know these things. Like we got to see Jonah Hex get his scar. And
what the fuck was that? Why was he there?
I don't because that.
Oh my God!
He was guarding.
I'm like, what the fuck is Jonathan Shake doing?
That was the only Earth where there was a Lazarus pit left, and he was guarding it in the Old West. I don't know. I don't know.
This is it was just oh my God. I mean, this is what the reason why it's so bad is because it's based on DC Comics, and that's the only thing I have to say about it.
Like, I mean, the comic book is a kind of this wacky also, and crazy shit happens, but it's played. I don't know.
You know what it reminded me of?
Yeah.
There's two things it reminded me of. It reminded me of how I felt about sci-fi shows for the longest time.
Yeah.
Which is just this cheap minor league thing.
Yeah. It
also reminded me of Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Oh
no! Mixed with Power Rangers. This is the level of TV. Like I was just going, man, either I've come a long way or I was just really dumb. Probably both back then. I mean, again, I do think there was magic around Arrow and Flash for a little bit, but golly, it is really tough to watch the quality of television that's out nowadays.
Yeah.
And then go back to this and it even feel like you're even watching the same era of television. It feels like I'm watching the early 90s.
Like a throwback show.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the early 90s.
Not even, and I know you're going to be like, oh, they're doing it. I'm like, it's cute, but the sets and the acting is just so bad. I can't, the guy that's playing Brainy or whatever, like what? He's just
that's like their Brainiac 5
I don't understand.
version.
This is none of this is just, oh my God, it's frustrating to watch. I was legitimately
like,
upset with you. Well, I was like, no one even requested for us to watch this. You just told us to watch this.
I love forcing you guys to watch it. But look, I said it last week. Like now, after watching Watchmen, it's ruined a lot of this television for me. Going back to watch this, but we said you have to
Watchmen. You needed Watchmen to figure out this was bad.
It wasn't just Watchmen, but that one really right now. But we have to compartmentalize, and for what it is, man, I don't know. It's fun, but it's also fun to laugh at.
It has its audience. I'll say this: it has its audience. I don't understand who's watching it and how you would like it, but there is
it still gets
obviously
ratings.
An audience for this.
They're gonna make more shows.
I think if they really want to play, they have to up their game because DC in general. You look at the Titans TV show; it sucks.
Yeah, they messed that one up.
Doom Patrol is the only thing that's
Doom Patrol is great.
It's great as that's a bit of a stretch.
I thought it was great.
It's decent. It's solid, but like Watchmen being DC is the best thing that they do.
But that's mostly because of HBO and, I probably...
And their pedigree.
Pedigree.
And the fact that they...
the Harley Quinn cartoon. I don't know. Swamp Thing was all right, except it got cut off.
Well, yeah, that would have... We don't know enough about that. I mean, it was not formulaic as the shit that we're watching, and not as low grade as the shit that we're watching.
I like the fan service that the Flash, the whole time, he's like, I have to die. Flash goes missing in Crisis, and then they do a bait and switch where it's the John Wesley Shipp as the 90s Flash, saying he didn't say which Flash. So they give you the moment where the Flash does sacrifice himself to save everyone. And then they even show you a clip from the fucking 90s show.
Geek boner.
That I thought was a nice touch that they threw in because you see how young he was. But yeah, aside from that, it was just, it's like junk food. It's like guilty pleasure.
I just don't know if people can just tune into this and watch this 3-part or whatever 4 or 5-part series it's supposed to be. And number one, understand what the fuck's going on. Number two, think that anything that's going on actually is useful.
Yeah.
Or that you're even using the characters to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
It seemed like I've seen a lot of the other ones that were actually a little bit better than this. Like, I mean, the other crossovers I think this is the worst crossover that they've ever done.
It just seemed to have gotten too big, and they're trying to stay somewhat close to the source material, which is kind of a mess also. But reading the book explained a lot more than what they explained here, like who Pariah actually is and why Harrison Wells is Pariah makes no sense.
I mean, I will give it this. I am jumping in 4 or 5 years after I've retired, or maybe 3 years. I'm exaggerating. 2 or 3 years after I've stopped watching these.
Yeah.
So I have missed a lot of stuff that I'm sure they're alluding to, and little things, little nods here and there. So in that sense, it is kind of my fault for jumping in. Actually, it's your fault for telling me to jump into this middle of this after X amount of time not watching. But there's really very little, in my opinion, that's redeeming about this. The best I could say, I said it earlier, but the best I can say is it's cute, I guess. There's some cute things where I go, oh, I guess they're going for something cute there. Or, oh, man, that person's kind of cute to look at. Arrow's daughter is a cute girl.
So that girl, she's from the future. The Monitor brought her back. She's going to lead the new Green Arrow show, which is Green Arrow.
It's like Green Arrow and the Canaries.
Yep,
yeah.
That's going to be her. So they got to set her up, of course.
I mean, there's clearly an audience. They're making more shows.
So speaking of which, they played. I also watched the Kevin Smith after show.
Oh my god,
which was kind of funny.
You had to watch him shill this shit.
Yes, it was hilarious.
Oh my god,
and he had like
you and him belong
Mark
together.
Guggenheim
You should marry Kevin Smith.
But the whole time I'm like, really, bro? He's really like hyping this whole thing up. It's so funny to watch. But they said interesting things like they want to replace the Barry Oliver relationship with Kate and Kara, Supergirl and Batwoman being the main relationship. And also, yeah, it was just really funny how to spin it. But they showed the new trailer for the next show, Stargirl, which is a character created by Jeff Johns like 20 years ago, and he's working on the show. And this show, I don't even know if I'm going to watch the first fucking episode. Did you guys see this trailer?
No.
For Stargirl? It's right there in the notes. You could pretty much imagine.
I did see it.
Yeah. Ruggs, what's your thought? It's just another CW show with a female lead, and it has source material. I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to watch this one. Luke Wilson is in this show. What is he doing on the fucking this show?
Bonafide movie stars in it.
How is Luke Wilson slumming it in
Amy Smart? You got Luke Wilson.
That's crazy that he's in this fucking show. There's a cosmic staff, and she turns into Stargirl, and the Justice Society have died. But it looks like, and even
they do have movie stars in this,
right? But it looks like it's skewing even younger and teeny boppier than the other shows.
That's their audience.
That's their audience.
The fact that you are watching this still and getting some enjoyment out of it really makes me question you.
I remember the first couple of seasons of Arrow was definitely like more mature.
Yeah. Seasons 1 and 2 were pretty good television.
Yeah. And then it just started sliding off, and it took a hard turn. I think when they brought Supergirl over.
Yeah.
And they, it was Arrow, Flash, and then Supergirl was the third one, and then they did Legends.
Yeah.
The Legends was one of the ones that where it started to get cheesy real quick.
Yeah, that's when I started to jump off.
And then all of them started getting that. They're like, oh, everybody's like, oh, Legends is so fun. I'm like, let's make everything fun. And then that's when it
Black Lightning, though, is pretty good. The music's really good. They do have the silly costumes, but I feel like it's the most different out of all of them. And he was a neat little cameo when he showed up here. He didn't really. He just
listen when Daredevil came out.
Yeah,
that changed the game completely. Jessica Jones, the first season came out. It changed everything.
Yeah.
It changed like how you see a superhero show.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It you finally had blood. You had this reality to it, and it was great. You had powers. Jessica Jones's powers could be displayed better or whatever, but at least it was handled where you weren't like wincing, like, oh God, this is so cheesy. You're like, oh, okay, well, at least it's grounded. Okay. We can kind of, little kids might not, it's not for kids. They're not going to enjoy that.
It's like you graduate.
So this is for kids.
Right.
This is,
they know their audience.
They've clearly like pivoted and directed it to a younger audience where writing doesn't really matter. I mean, these are the kids that are watching Dragon Ball Z, and that writing is terrible. So they're like,
man, people love the Dragon Ball Z. The writing's terrible, Rugs. Why does everybody loves this shit so much?
I mean, it's just one of those things that like they just kind of make up their own rules as they go, and they just change things on the fly. And I think that great writing is when you set established rules and you don't really waver on them. And if you do have to get around it, you got to do it in a really clever way.
I mean, Goku had a float in the Thanksgiving Day parade. I was like, what?
Nah, man. Dragon Ball Z Dragon Ball period is popular as ever. So
they did have a Watchmen billboard in the show also. And I got a screenshot here when you go to Earth 666 where Lucifer is. There's a billboard for Watchmen, which I was surprised they did that. But there's clearly different audiences. And
I would point to actually just as an example of a show that we are currently watching that even doesn't really have blood, is about somewhat of a cheesy thing, a cheesy universe, yet still maintains an air of dignity and is well done. The Mandalorian. Okay, look at that. That is a show that has none of the violence that was associated with Daredevil, yet is still able to have not be a cheeseball show with terrible acting and bad sets and bad fight scenes. Obviously there's a lot more money invested, but this is what we've come to now expect from TV.
I mean, even Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at least kept it adult. To a degree. I mean, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s worst show is still better than what I just watched.
Well, look, you
like
fuckers.
Writing wise and character acting wise and shit like that, still better than what I saw.
I will be forcing you to watch the conclusion of this in a month from now, January 14th, 2 hours. Now that we've started, we have to find out what happens, even though it's not going to make a lick of sense. But whatever. We don't even have to rate it. It was something to watch, and it is.
I watched it. That's all I say.
It is a guilty pleasure. It is weird to see.
It was nice to see. Look, it was nice to see the cameos.
Yeah.
It was cute to see them, to see how they wove them in. But then at the same time, I was also disappointed that that's all it was. They didn't really have anything to do with the story. So whatever. I mean, it is what it is.
The only cameo that they had that had really anything to do with the story and that was at least a little thought out was the Wesley Shipp cameo. But he's been a part of that universe for a while anyways.
He's buried.
Every other cameo, as Ruggs mentioned, was legitimately
just fan service,
showing their face on screen for fun.
Before they died.
None of it actually had anything to do with the plot.
We got introduced to Ryan Choi, who's going to be Adam, and he's Adam in the comics. But it's all a little bit of fan service and a little bit of, I don't know what everyone's doing.
How was Kevin Smith? I mean,
they're
that's
paying
why
him a lot of money to host.
I'm sorry, but like I used to think Kevin Smith was this fucking badass dude, and that would fucking take pot shots at the industry. They were talking about Star Wars stuff and all that other shit. And
he's directed episodes of Supergirl and Flash. You can't talk shit about it. He's in the system.
He's not.
He is so.
How does he go to?
on a pile of cash, probably.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah,
garbage.
It was a little bit. It was hard to watch him shill this stuff on those after shows, but I had to watch. And they did the same thing like Talking Dead. They had like an in memoriam. Like, here's all the people who died this episode. I was like, really? Come on. Everyone's going to come back. I don't know how they're going to reverse this.
Like, we're shitting on this hard, but I mean, it really deserves it. I'm sorry. I know there's some of you guys like this shit.
I will agree with you, Ruggs, that I liked some of the past crossovers a little bit better. This one just got out of control.
I've watched all the crossovers, and some of them I've actually enjoyed and thought they were cool, but like, this is the worst one.
I thought last year's was better. Yeah.
I thought the year before that, when they were in the Nazi shit, was cool.
I mean, for them to even take on Crisis on Infinite Earths, the comic storyline is crazy, but they've been setting this up for a long time. And it's just way too, I think they bit off a little more than they could chew. We'll see.
I mean, we're just watching, like,
when it comes back,
fucking pink things go and absorb, like, computer graphic Earths, and people just standing around, like, doing nothing.
They show you on a screen, and it's like, oh, signal
it's so
lost.
Stupid.
I don't even think, Imran, they bit off more than they can chew. I just think fundamentally the shows are fucked from the start. Because the way of they're shot terribly, the costumes are bad, the fight scenes are bad, the dialogue is bad, the acting is bad. Even if you had the most amazing plot, you can't overcome any of that.
No. Yeah, those are all the ingredients.
And I still am. I cannot believe we used to watch these shows every week. This is unbelievable.
What happened to? Why does everyone on Krypton?
Imran still watches these shows.
Why
by the way.
does everyone on Krypton shoot their baby off a rocket at the side of trouble? And where did that baby go? They sent
that
Jonathan
wasn't Krypton.
Kent.
It was like
Argo.
Argo, yeah.
But they sent Jonathan Kent off in a ship, and then what the fuck? They found him. That's right. They did find him. Who cares?
Once again, you think about this way too much.
Look,
I forgot that even happened.
I need something to do, you guys. This is all I have.
There's plenty of good TV.
I know, and I
don't understand why you made us watch this.
Because
I know I was having a conversation with Bilotti and a couple of other people.
Yeah.
I name dropped you, Bilotti.
Oh, there it is.
And so let's say hi to who else?
That's fucking awesome.
Watch.
Yeah, that's really good.
Who else?
Wow, you play the clip as he's shouting out people. Good job.
Yeah, he can't stop interrupting me.
What happened?
He has to constantly interrupt. But
take two, start over.
I don't know. I was having a conversation with those guys, and I was saying, like, did you watch this movie? Did you watch that? I'm like, no, I'm busy watching this shit. This is what I'm doing with my time.
Yeah, I have another movie chat with like Rex, who's been on the show, and my friend Erwin, who's been on the show, and Chris Satella. All guys have been on the show. Shout out to all of them. And I was legitimately just going, I had to watch Crisis. And let me tell you, I'm very dismayed that I had to watch that entire thing. And they're all like kind of checking it out because I guess there is some hype around it. But everyone disagrees. This is we cannot believe that this is television that's still going on the CW.
Plus, now you're going to appreciate all the other shows.
I didn't need it. I didn't need this to appreciate.
All right, look, good stuff. We'll check back in a month maybe and torture ourselves some more. Let's do some news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation.
Get the fuck out of here.
This is where I pull stuff from our Facebook group. Listener, if you haven't already joined, join. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. Closed, exclusive just for you. Blake Braden comments, I take back every bad thing I said about the Watchmen TV series. I was totally wrong. It's, in fact, a wonderful show. Yeah. Anthony, you caught up?
I am all caught up. I am very much loving it.
Ruggs,
there was a post-credit scene in episode 8.
So this is what I want to mention if you haven't watched it. So we won't. We're not going to spoil anything now. Next week, we'll review the finale and the whole season. But if you have not watched episode 8, there is a post-credit scene that's kind of important that sets up episode 9, which will be the longest of the series. It'll be 67 minutes of Watchmen goodness. And holy shit, is this not like this is like the best superhero show I've seen on TV in a really long time.
Superhero show?
It's a comic book based show with superheroes. It's a comic book show.
There's hardly any superheroes going.
No, there isn't, but it is a comic book show.
The writing is amazing.
It's completely opposite of Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Everything's well thought out.
Yes.
It does. Now, even if it doesn't really correlate to Watchmen, the graphic novel, as much as it should, I think that the last few episodes really, really bring the characters into the series. So it does help and a lot as far as that concerned. That episode, episode 8 was one of the best written episodes I've seen on TV in like a very long time. And like, I usually don't fucking like anything.
Yeah.
So
the
fact that I was watching it, I'm like, this shit is amazing.
It really is.
Whoever wrote this fucking nailed it. Like, they fucking...
Lindelof.
Damon Lindelof wrote a lot of it, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean,
the whole thing.
My hat's off to him. Like, I really don't... I didn't think he had it in him to nail it, and he did nail it. Now, let's see what happens.
Yes, let's see if he sticks the landing.
Now, can they stick the landing? Yes.
I have to just interject real quick, too, that I'm now fully caught up, and I'm fully in on the show. I'm amazed that I like it this much, especially since I'm not an avid follower of the comic. I went back and actually reread, or not reread, but did a quick perusal of the comic on Wikipedia just so I could be a little more versed in what was going on. But yeah, it's great. I can't wait to see what happens at the end.
I gotta disagree with Ruggs a little bit. I've seen some of your comments on Twitter. I think this show makes going back and reading the comic even more impactful. Like the tweaks it does to the source material, making you look at the source material in a different light. That's hard to do, and it does it, and it fucking works. Like, it's some incredible reveals, and he's not doing the thing where he doesn't answer the questions. All the questions I've had from episode to episode slowly have been answered, and I feel like there's still a lot of questions, there's still a lot of things he needs to explain, but he's been doing it. You find out stuff, unlike Lost, where it was all bullshit, and he's just making it up. This is so well thought out, and pays off. I cannot wait for this finale.
Yeah, the stuff that they did to tie into the characters from the Minutemen and stuff like that, I think that was brilliantly done.
The retcons are great.
It is a retcon.
Yes.
I don't think it was Alan Moore's original intent.
No.
Or not. It's not really what the book was doing. So, yes, you have to go along for the ride on that, which you may or may not want to do.
But then you're like, holy shit, it was this the whole time. Do you guys think Alan Moore is watching it, and B, would he enjoy this?
I'm sure that in a way he would enjoy it, but I do feel like that Alan Moore is more subversive than this show. This show is just, it's not really saying anything that people aren't saying all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I think his other stuff is more about like how everything is nihilistic and meaningless in Hollywood. Right. This is all of these ideals that we have are just fucked up. And, that's not what this show is doing. This show is more like, kind of like going on about basically stuff that everybody agrees that it sucks. If this show was like, somehow, made you think about something differently, which it's not. Like, everything that they talk about this show, they're talking about, okay, this is bad, doing this is bad. Like, we all agree.
Right.
Like, it's not I never thought about it like that before. So there's nothing that, like, Alan Moore was the king of doing that. He'll make you think about something completely differently when you read his stuff.
From a different point of view. You're like, I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
I love that that it is a murder mystery similar to the original 12-issue book. It's kind of presented as a murder mystery. That's great. And I think Alan Moore may enjoy it if he actually watches it.
Just think about what he did. All right? He created Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah.
This guy who was a Superman. And then he made him not give a fuck about anything.
Dude, think about his character from the book. Like, this is what a tragic character Manhattan is. Like, you wouldn't want this life.
But isn't that what the genius of what he did?
Yes, you would think having the powers of the god would be great, but it's a tragic, sad life he lives.
Yes. So that's what he brings to the table. Like, I don't think Lindelof is doing what Alan Moore would do as far as that kind of like revolutionary kind of thinking about a character. Like, Superman always saves people because he's like Jesus. Yeah. And if you have the power, with great power comes great responsibility, and all these tropes that we've learned. And he just turns it on its head. There's nothing being turned on its head here. There was one major reveal with a character, that was like really different from what you expected, but it's also not shocking. So because it seems like it's with the times.
But
So-
that reveal makes you look at the book in a different light also when you go back and you think about what it reveals. And then,
Right.
you know, this isn't a spoiler. You get it in the movie, in the original material, the fact that Manhattan lives in every moment all the time. Like he's actually living all of time at once. Makes it hard for a motherfucker to like be in the moment, you know? And you see
It's a very hard concept to wrap your head around.
And it's very difficult to write like that, too.
And they do a great job of kind of giving you that.
It's easier to do in panels than it is
than
live
on TV, but they get to it. So, listener, catch up by next week. We will do full spoiler review of the whole season of this amazing fucking show. We've been digging. Another comment from our Facebook group, Fiddlesticks Winterbottom III, says, Baby Yoda must die.
Oh, shit.
He said, let's start an online petition to kill off Baby Yoda. It might break the internet and draw in a lot of new listeners. Even if they tune in to hate listen, they are still tuning in. I know he's joking, but it's kind of funny.
Do you think that Mandalorian is getting too procedural
So
right now?
I got a bone with the fucking Baby Yoda show, which is what people are calling it. I'm not going to spoil it again.
What did you just have a stroke there?
It just called the Baby Yoda show. We have 5 episodes. There's 3 episodes left. And now for 2 straight episodes, nothing has happened. Can somebody tell me what the plot of this show is?
I mean, it's getting formulaic. It's like the thing of the little scam of the week, you know?
It looks great. The acting is great. I love it. I love the nostalgia. I love the wipes that the original Star Wars. But how many times does his ship break down? He's got to get money to fix the fucking. It's happened 3 times already.
Yeah.
These next 3 episodes, these should better be all story. And you could be a little bit longer than 35 minutes if you want, Mandalorian. I won't be mad at you.
The reason why I'm not mad at it is because it's only 30 minutes.
Are you caught up on Mandalorian, Anthony?
I am. I agree that these last 2 have been very side adventure, almost villain of the week type thing. But since
I just
it's only
don't
30
want it
minutes.
to get that. I was kind of like, please let it not be an episodic, formula that they kind of do like Enemy of the Week or Little fucking Scam of the Week, or, you know, like these procedural shows where it's just they go through the same procedure. Like remember the old Incredible Hulk show?
Yeah, it was the same.
He'd show up at a town.
Yeah, he's got a different name.
He'd get a new job. Fucking all of a sudden he's flirting with a girl, and all of a sudden some asshole
he gets wrapped up in some shit that he's
and he turns into the Hulk and he has to leave again. So it's like, okay,
he's
like,
help
are we
out
doing this now?
It's like The Equalizer. Remember that show, The Equalizer, with Edward Woodward? It was every episode.
I thought we were past that shit.
Look, they better fucking. You're missing one critical part. Is the story, Mandalorian? Where's the fucking story? I want to find out some more.
There is a story. It's just for some reason it's not the driving force.
It's taking a detour these last 2 for sure.
It's like, okay, this motherfucker goes on a mission. He rescues Baby Yoda. All right, everybody knows about Baby Yoda.
Everybody knows about Baby Yoda.
Spoiling anything. And now he's got everybody pissed at him, and he's got a price on his head, and he's running from them. So now it's just, okay, I'm running, and that's all I'm doing. And as I'm running, I'm like Kane. I'm walking the universe like Kane.
These little side adventures.
And these little side adventures. But now it's turning into this thing. So I'm like, please don't be this. And,
we saw a quick space dogfight, which was cool, but it was really short. And then Amy Sedaris was kind of funny.
I would agree that it is, taking this detour. Hopefully they can bring it back to the main plot, which is how the hell is this Baby Yoda even exist? Why does the Empire or whatever? Why do they want him?
Where does it come from?
Why did this? What's the story behind this Mandalorian? Why did he decide to keep him?
Are we going to see Werner Herzog again? We still haven't seen Bill Burr or Giancarlo Esposito.
So this is my question: is that okay? He gets the Yoda baby. He takes off on the ship. He's wanted by these dudes, right? You could skip all the other episodes and go to the last episode where they're going to tell you the whole story and not really miss out on anything.
This is my main problem with this last episode. If you didn't watch it, you didn't miss anything. Like why are you doing that? You only have 8 episodes. Fucking put some plot in each of the episodes.
No,
it's a very strange choice that they've. that they've just made it the Baby Yoda show. At this point, he better fucking die or turn to the dark side or get kidnapped. Something's got to happen to him. Otherwise, he's just going to end with him smiling.
I'm being presumptuous, but I'm looking out. I could see pretty far right here. And if it's, if the next episode doesn't latch back onto the main story,
yes,
we're in trouble.
These last 3 episodes need to be all story, and I feel like maybe someone that's in Rise of Skywalker may show up in the last episode of this because it would be easier for them to do that.
It's okay, Imran. If this doesn't work out for you, you can always go back to watching CW shows.
Oh yeah, I got them all DVR'd.
Hey, listen, it's better. I'll watch this procedural Mandalorian any day.
True.
Exactly.
It's a half hour. The fucking all the quality of everything is great. I'm just like, I just see greatness, and I'm like, please keep going towards the greatness. Don't veer off into mediocrity again and do the same shit that we've seen 1,000 times in other shows. Like, go for it. Let's do this, Disney. Let's fucking make this shit happen. You finally have something that all the fans are galvanizing around.
Don't fuck that up. Don't throw that away.
They were on a cool road trip, and they decided to take a detour and take a piss at the rest stop, and then they accidentally fell asleep at the wheel.
Yes.
That's where we're at right now.
Wake up, get it back. Oh, shit, we got to get to the end.
We got to get over there.
Fuck.
They could still get to greatness. They could still do it. I mean, I have hope. I mean, I'm not Supergirl kind of hope, but I have some.
Are you the paragon of hope, Ruggs?
I don't know. I'm like more like the tarragon.
I love you. Got to add some tarragon and some cumin.
Yeah.
Well, rosemary. We've been loving Pedro Pascal's performance in this whole show, and something came out which I knew I had an inkling. The dude doesn't take his helmet off. I was like, he doesn't even have to be in there. Turns out he's not always in the suit.
Oh shit!
Or in the whole episode. The episode Bryce Dallas Howard directed. It was the 4th episode. He was doing King Lear on Broadway, not even in any of that episode, just did the voice afterwards. So one of the body doubles is actually the great grandson of John Wayne. His name is Brendan Wayne, and Lateef Crowder is the other one. So you have a Wayne playing a space gunslinger, which that's kind of dope.
Geek boner
right there. That's kind of cool, but must be a cool gig for Pedro. He's like, oh, yeah, I only showed up for like 4 of the episodes. Where's my check?
Why does he need to be in any of them?
He does it. He honestly
really
does it. You could just do the voice unless I don't know if he's going to take the helmet off. Maybe I'm still.
The only thing I would say about being, I guess maybe if I were an actor.
Yeah.
And I'm not. But even though I guess I wouldn't have to be there, I would still physically want to play the role.
Yes.
I still think, even though acting, a lot of it's looking at your face, there's still physical aspects of acting, the way your body language is, that maybe he would, him as an actor, only he thinks he can do, or it's just putting his own stamp on it rather than being a voiceover.
Great, though we've talked about how like the body language and the body acting has been really good. Like you can tell what he's thinking. You don't even need to see his face. So whether it's Brendan Wayne or Pedro Pascal, good job.
He's
on
very
the directors.
subtle in the role, for sure.
Yeah. And then last thing, Ralph Bravo commented that he left a review on his sister's and daughter's iPhones after he stole it for a brief moment.
Everybody should do that.
Yes.
Bravo, Ralph.
Bravo, Ralph. Bravo. Absolutely. Take that as a lesson. We are now up to 105 ratings, listener. If you have an iOS device and you live in the U.S., go to Apple Podcasts and light up those stars, because we are trying to get to 200 ratings, at which point we will reapply to Rotten Tomatoes and maybe become official reviewers.
Oh, shit.
Join the man.
If you want to get us something for Christmas, get us on Rotten Tomatoes by getting us 200 reviews, or you can give us a bonus.
200 ratings. You can leave a review, but the rating is even easier. Just you got to hit those stars. We just need a rating that counts when you're logged in. Yeah, and then give us a holiday bonus on Patreon.
One is free.
One is right there. Steal all your friends' phones. We can do this. We'll fuck up the tomato meter. Just wait and see.
You're going to be around family.
Yes.
All right? You're going to be around a bunch of people that you know. You can be, listen, it would make me really happy if you could just fucking give me your phones let's all do this together. And I think we can find, let's say you're around 10 people. We could get this done with 10 other people.
Make it a holiday tradition, listener.
Unlike any other.
Yes. That's it for this week, guys. Ruggs, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at ReallyRugBoy.
And check out the show notes for this episode, listener, jockandnerd.com/305 for links to everything we talked about and our Amazon affiliate link where if you're shopping for the holidays, follow that link, type in jockandnerd.com/Amazon or click the link, takes you to Amazon. You get something, we get a little something, everybody's happy.
Jock and Nerd.
It's a win-win. And then spread the word, just like we said, word of mouth is the best way to help us spread the geekery. Thanks for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Emron.
My name is Anthony.
He's the Jock.
And he's the Nerd.
We'll peep you next time.
Fuck that
We
show.
really shit on a lot of stuff today. I feel like I cleaned my colon out. Lame. Sloppy Jock. Is it more fun for the listener to hear us complimenting or just say nothing?